Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is the start of the week, Monday the 27th of November 2017. Let's have a look at what's making the news. So to start off with, in the Times, quite a depressing story actually coming through today. Thousands of children as young as 12 being groomed and used as drug runners by criminal gangs across the country. Now, the National Crime Agency, the NCA, says that county lines drug trade is out of control. By county lines, they mean basically the urban gangs moving Class A drugs and cash in between inner city hubs and out of town. And our officers have identified more than 700 of these kind of operations. The scandal, which the Times is saying, the same as Rotherham and Rochdale. Really interesting story there. Pick up at Times if you want to read any more of that. Next up in the FT, Brexit pharmaceutical boost. Now, Theresa May, the Prime Minister's post-Brexit vision, will get a much-needed boost, according to the FT today, after two big pharmaceutical companies announced plans for research hubs in the UK. They're reporting that 1,750 high-skilled jobs will be planned for research hubs in London and Manchester. Let's look in focus, though, at the main story today, which is along the lines of cyber defences. Now, in the Telegraph, as you can see, armed forces lose out to cyber war. Now, the armed forces will not receive any extra funding following a major national security review by Mark Sedwill, the National Security Advisor. The cash is instead being used to invest in the digital front line, so fighting cyber attacks instead. The National Security Advisor deeming that more important and more significant in terms of national defence than the traditional military and conventional military reserves. Growing anger amongst Tory MPs, however, and this is going to be a real problem for the government, actually, and Theresa May and Philip Hammond, as a number of Tory MPs are getting particularly angry about the severity of the cuts which the military have experienced in recent years, really hacking back on the budget, which of course means the numbers of troops, the number of the military forces is going down, and also the quality in terms of equipment and resources is going down as well. There's going to be an upcoming battle, says the Telegraph, between Gavin Williamson and Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, with Gavin Williamson wanting an extra £2 billion a year for the military to stave off some of these extra cuts which they are being hit with. Look in the mirror, though, slightly different story, and this proves kind of the point of the cyber warfare. Russia lies over flu jabs in Britain. Now, according to the Mirror, Russian cyber units are spreading false information about flu and measles jabs in the UK, with the hope, according to the Mirror, of eroding trust in US and European governments. So just gives you a sort of kind of context as well. Of course, there's been many cyber attacks against the UK and indeed internationally. Obviously, what happened to the NHS a few months ago, the biggest example recently. Let's look at one more story then, coming from the newspaper. Now, this was all over the papers and all over the news across the weekend. Rift with Dublin puts Brexit deal in danger. Now, officials are admitting that there is serious impasse over the Northern Ireland border issue, particularly to do with Brexit. First off, to do with timing, International Trade Secretary Liam Fox said the trade deal has to happen before an agreement can be made about what the border is going to look like between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Brussels completely refuting that, saying no, the deal, or at least sufficient progress between Ireland and Northern Ireland on that border, must happen before we start talks on trade deals. So a completely different approach between the UK and Brussels. And secondly, access. Leo Varadkar, the Irish Prime Minister, saying that Ireland and Northern Ireland effectively need to stay in the customs union and single market in order to keep that seamless border, that lack of hard border continuing forward. Obviously, that is disputed by the UK government. Their position is Northern Ireland leaves the customs union and single market alongside the rest of the UK post-Brexit. Both sides, however, are open to some form of special relationship for Northern Ireland in order to guarantee that there's no hard border taking place. What that will actually look like, no one really knows yet. Check out one of our Inside Europe episodes with a Sinn Féin MEP who has proposed special designated status for Northern Ireland. The really interesting discussion there, that's on our channel. But that's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on our Facebook page and on Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your week.